does not relate to the stage of this inquiry about payment. It's about the very initial
Initial
stage.
stages, yes. That was around June when I went back to him, when he said to me, when I went back to him when I was doing my due diligence, I went back to him and said to him, look, I've got someone, and they verified, yes, your contract is there, and I have someone inside, and he believed that I had someone.
Maybe on that, just so that it's not, I don't forget it. Why would you, you're about to advance a lot of money
Yes.
to someone who says, I have a contract with the SAPS. Why would you ask Mr. Mokgotsi to verify instead of asking Mr. Matlala to give you proof that he does have this contract? It doesn't make sense to me that you would go about the long way of Mr. Matlala, of Mr. Mokgotsi, when in fact you are face to face with Mr. Matlala, to whom you are giving money, that you don't say to him as part of your due diligence. You say, give me proof that you've been awarded the contract, and you would rather, as part of your due diligence, rely on an outsider that you say has nothing to do with this contract, Mr. Mokgotsi.
Commissioner, he did show me proof, but I just wanted to satisfy myself. That's why I asked Mr. Mokgotsi.
So when you say he showed you proof, what did he show you?
He showed me a letter.
From the SAPS?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
If we can go down, at 10:04 you send 3 texts. Morning, they say payment is done, I'm waiting for the remittance. Who promised you a remittance?
Mr. Mokgotsi.
I see. Over the page, sorry, did Mr. Mokgotsi say where he was going to get the remittance from?
No, he just said to me he'll get a remittance and forward it to me so that I could send it on to Mr. Matlala.
Sorry, he said he had a remittance.
He said he's getting one.
He's getting one. Over the page, you see later that day, Mr. Matlala says, you winning with the remittance. Asks you, and you say, not yet. Then you say, the lady insists it's paid. Who was the lady?
Brown said to me, the lady, when I spoke to Brown on the call, he said to me, the lady insists, the lady said it's paid. So I just took that and sent it to Mr. Matlala.
So Brown mentioned a lady, but when I asked you a minute ago, you made no mention of the lady. You just said he's getting a remittance.
No. I said it's on my text here. Brown did say a lady.
Brown said a lady.
Yes, Brown told me a lady.
You didn't mention the lady when I asked you 2 minutes ago.
It's here, it's on my text.
No, I know it's on your text. It wasn't in your answer, though. Why didn't you mention the lady when I asked you?
Well, I just said paid, but now I see it's a lady, it's there. So I'll retract that and say the lady.
So it's the lady who said, do you know who this lady is?
No idea, Council.
And why did you expect that Mr. Matlala would know who's the lady? If you don't know who's the lady, you are not talking to him about a lady, as you say. When you say the lady, how did you expect he would know who you're speaking about?
I just said the lady says it's paid. Like there's a person there, but it's a lady. And she says it's paid. Because that's what Mr. Mokgotsi told me. The lady said it's paid.
Yeah.
So I just took that phrase and forwarded it on to
Yes,
Mr.
forget
Matlala.
about what Mr. Mokgotsi told you. You are sending this message, and you say the lady. You don't say they insist it's paid. You say the lady insists it is paid. So it gives the impression that you and Mr. Matlala know, or at least you expect Mr. Matlala knows who you're talking about, the lady, whether at the SAPS, wherever. How did you expect he would know who you're speaking about?
Brown told me it's a lady, and he's speaking to some lady. And the lady says it's paid. So I just took that and forwarded it on to Mr. Matlala.
I'm asking you a different question. How did you expect Mr. Matlala would know there's a lady who's dealing with the processing?
I didn't expect him to know.
Let me
Sorry.
finish. I'm not asking about what Mr. Mokhotsi said to you. I'm asking about your communicating with Mr. Mokhotsi, with Mr. Matlala. How do you expect that he will know and accept that indeed payment will be made when all you say is the lady insists it's paid? How would he know what lady you're talking about unless you knew that he knows what lady you're talking about?
It was just from Brown. We just knew it was a lady. So I just took that and forwarded it on to him. What he thought, I didn't know, Commissioner.
Thank you.
So you relayed to him on the 31st of January that payment had been made.
I said, I'm just waiting for proof.
Yes, you were waiting for proof, but you had been told either directly from an insider or indirectly through Brown Mokhotsi from an insider that payment had been made. The lady insists it's paid.
Yes,
That was on the 31st.
yes.
If we go down to page 6, on 3 February, Mr. Matlala sends you a payment screen.
Yes,
And on that payment screen, one sees that the payment date is in fact the 31st of January.
yes,
So whoever was speaking to either you or Mr. Mokhotsi was someone inside SAPS with access to their payment systems.
yes, it was Mr. Mokhotsi.
So well, it wasn't Mr. Mokhotsi. You say someone was speaking to Mr. Mokhotsi.
Yes,
Yes. Well, Mr. Mokhotsi is coming back. We'll have to ask him whether he confirms your version or not. But one of you had access to someone inside the SAPS payment system who could tell you when payment had been made.
from this text, it's clear that Mr. Matlala had someone inside.
No, I'm not asking about Mr. Matlala now, I'm asking about yourself and Mr. Mokhotsi. Between the two of you, you had access to someone inside SAPS who could tell you when invoices were being paid. Would you accept that?
Mr. Brown Mokhotsi, not myself. I had no one.
I understand your version, but one of the two of you had access to someone who could say when accounts were going to be paid.
That's not what happened. Mr. Mokhotsi told me that he's got someone, and that's my message to Mr. Matlala, saying, yes, he's got, the invoices are paid on confirmation from Mr. Mokhotsi. I had spoken to no one.
Yes. So your version is you spoke to no one other than Mokhotsi,
Yes,
but why you wanted to speak to Mokhotsi is that you knew that he was connected.
yes,
He would have access, you thought, to someone inside SAPS who could answer these sorts of questions.
yes,
So on your version, you didn't directly have access to anybody in SAPS. You had to go through Mr. Mokhotsi, but you deliberately went through Mr. Mokhotsi because you believed he had access to someone in
he
SAPS.
told me he has access, yes.
Yes, Mr. Mokhotsi has told lots of people lots of things. Did you believe him?
At that point, when he said it's paid, and when Mr. Matlala sent us, I believed that, yes, he did have someone.
Let me move to a different topic. And can I ask you to go to page 6 of the bundle?
We're on
The
page
evidence bundle.
6. Yes, I'm on that one.
Now, at the 3rd of February, at 1441, you WhatsApp Mr. Matlala a proof of banking letter for Tamiz Investments.
Yes.
Now, why did you WhatsApp him a proof of banking letter for Tamiz Investments if the vehicle for the contract was Ziggy?
The funding was done from two companies. So part of the funding came from Tamise Investment. Ziggy did not have the full capacity to do it. Some of the money came from Tamise.
But the contracting party was Ziggy.
Yes.
So why would you provide for money to be paid back to Tamise if the true contracting party was Ziggy? Why wouldn't you provide, I would imagine in your internal books you had an arrangement in terms of which Tamise advanced a loan to Ziggy, which then was reflected in a payment to Medicare 2024, that of that 10 million, some of it was loaned from Tamise to Ziggy and paid to Medicare 24.
Yes, I needed to pay back Tamise first, so that's why I gave him Tamise's details.
But should it not have gone through the books of Ziggy, if Ziggy was the principal and if the arrangement was, there was a loan from Tamise to Ziggy and from Ziggy to Mr. Matlala? Isn't the correct way of doing that getting Mr. Matlala to pay back his counterparty and arranging that
The payments went out directly from Tamise, so my accountant advised that they go back into Tamise.
So your accountant advised that although Tamise was actually lending money not to Mr. Matlala, but to Ziggy, Mr. Matlala should pay back Tamise, not Ziggy.
No, he should pay back Tamise first. That was the arrangement.
Yes, but why would he pay Tamise directly
Because,
if his contractual relationship was with Ziggy?
yes, we'd ask him to pay that company back first, because Tamise was part of the loan.
Did Tamise lend money to Mr. Matlala, or did Tamise lend money to Ziggy?
It lent money to Mr. Matlala via Ziggy.
You see, that's not the version that you give in your statement. In your statement, you say that any monies that came from Tamise were advanced to Mr. Matlala on behalf of Ziggy. Can I take you to the relevant part of your statement?
Yeah.
So it's page 3, paragraph 12.
Yes.
In terms of our agreement, the following payments were made to Medicare by or on behalf of Ziggy. And then you say Ziggy paid 5 million on the 26th of June. On 7th, Tamise paid 25 million to Medicare on behalf of Ziggy. 2.5. On 15 July and 24 July, Tamise paid 1.5 and 1 million on behalf of Ziggy. So your version in your statement is that these are payments by Ziggy, which are made on behalf of Ziggy by Tamise.
Yes.
Did you tell that to your accountant? Did you explain that to your accountant?
Yes.
And he still said, get Medicare 24 to pay Tamise back, not Ziggy back.
To pay Tamise first, and once Tamise's debt is cleared, we'll then start paying Ziggy.
But Tamise's debt was a debt to Ziggy, not a debt to Medicare.
Yes, but we wanted to pay Tamise first, so we asked Mr. Matlala to pay the money directly into Tamise Investments.
And you took advice from an accountant on this.
Yes.
Who was your accountant who advised you this?
I'll have to check his name. SMSM accounts or something like that.
Let's go back to the payment. On page 6 of the evidence bundle at the foot of the page, you see that on the 4th of February 2025, Mr. Matlala WhatsApps you a proof of payment. And that proof of payment is at page 36 of the bundle. It's the 1.5 million payment from Medicare to Tamise.
Yes.
If you can then go to page 535, you will see that 7 seconds after Mr. Matlala sent you proof of payment to Tamiz, he sends the same proof of payment to Mr. Morgan Maumela.
Correct.
And that proof of payment that he sends to Mr. Maumela is at page 537.
5.
If we go back to page 7, 537, sorry, 537. It's the same proof of payment. This time it was sent to Mr. Maumela.
Yes.
If you go back to page 7, you'll see that at 15:13:31, this is another 12 seconds after the proof of payment has been sent to Mr. Maumela, Mr. Matlala calls you.
Yes.
What was he calling about?
Which page is that, Council? 7, page 7.
On page 7, yes. At 15:13:31. He's just given you proof of payment, you've acknowledged receipt of the proof of payment, and then he calls you. Do you remember what he called you about?
Yes.
What would he call you about?
He called me and asked me, well, before this, he'd already engaged me to advance some monies to Mr. Morgan Maumela on his behalf.
To advance monies to Mr. Morgan Maumela.
On his behalf, yes.
On his behalf. Now, by this stage, you had been worried for quite some time that you weren't being paid on this contract.
Yes, that's correct.
Why did you agree to take a third of your first payment and give it to Mr. Maumela on behalf of Mr. Matlala?
The reason for that, Mr. Matlala kept on putting pressure on me to please advance this money to Morgan. I did ask him, why can't he do it directly? He said, please do it on my behalf. And on my next payment, I'll reimburse you. And at that time, we had quite a bit of payments that still needed to go into the system. So I needed to keep Mr. Matlala happy. At the same time, knowing that there's more payments coming in, I then agreed to advance this money to Mr. Maumela.
So although by this stage you were already worried about